They're going to do a video. Give them a little room right there. So right here.
Monkey in the middle.
Okay, let's get. Hey, this is Tyler with TJX Survival. We're here today with Alan, Nicole, and do a little question and answer session. A lot of times, people don't get the opportunity to sit down with people like this and ask them questions. So I'm going to try and ask a bunch of the questions that I see happen on a regular basis. Usually they're going to be stuff like, what was it like? What gear do you use? What kind of knives? What skills do you want to start with? That kind of stuff. So I'll kind of let you guys just kind of roll with it a little bit, but if someone was starting with stuff like this, where would you point them? Like, what would you tell them to start with?
Nice to meet you. I think a great place to start when people are learning skills is, well, first of all, find someone who already knows the skills and go out and practice with them. Yeah, take a class.
Yeah, no, you guys teach classes. Where would they look for that?
So my website, NicoleApellian.com, has our classes on it. Or they can just contact us. Very easy. It's Nicole@NicoleApellian.com, Alan at Alan K Survival, and very easy to contact us and take classes from. And if you live in a different area, find someone local who knows the local plants and knows the local area.
Like, what skills? Like, I see people, they feel like they're biting off more than they can chew. I usually just say, well, start with fire, get good at it. Go to shelter, get good at that. Learn how to fish. Where would you say people start?
Yeah, statistically, what kills people first is usually hypothermia, so you're right on target. You know, learn how to do a shelter in any environment. Fire is a very important skill set. Botany, you know, foraging for plants, because anybody that's ever been hunting knows you more often than not you come back empty-handed, but plants won't run from you. Things like insects, foraging that way for insects and plants is by far the best way to procure food. Yeah, so definitely study that in your local area.
So fire, shelter, food,
water procurement, really important.
Water,
you know where to find water, how to catch water if there's, you know, if it's falling from the sky, how to catch it, and if it's not, what do you do then? You know, how do you purify your water? How do you keep it clean? And I think another really important skill that people sometimes forget is to always be prepared and ready, because let's say you were stuck in a situation.
So if something happened right now.
Right now.
What would you do?
Well, you know, I keep my EDC kit, my everyday carry, fire, shelter, water, food, signaling, and medical right around my water bottle.
What's in there?
There's a lot in here, yes. Alan just did a class on this, actually. So in here, there's different ways. There's a ferro rod, there's lighter, fire, there's fire tinder, so ways to start fire, and then a Fresno lens to start fire, so there's fire. Water, we have water bags, we have a water container right here. I can boil water right in this titanium container.
It's only a couple pounds. I mean, that's really lightweight.
It's very lightweight.
It's made out of titanium, so not only is it lightweight, but it's really, really durable.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about titanium.
I had one of these, and I haven't mentioned this, but I have had a canteen like this for like the last 3 or 4 years. I took it to the jungle with me.
Great.
I take it in the mountain and just beat the crap out of it. It's just
yeah, it doesn't have to be this canteen. Any canteen like this will work, but just have your kit around it. And then I have a water filter in here.
Like that.
You definitely want to have a water filter.
Perfect. And you can cook in the metal things. That's something people forget. Those plastic ones, I can't throw that in the fire and boil water on it.
It's really hard to recreate a cooking pot in nature.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, if we always talk about what would our 3 items be if we were going to go out and only could choose 3. We have the same answers.
It would be Nicole, Alan, and a knife.
That's what he would choose. He would choose a knife, a ferro rod, and a pot.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, what can you not recreate in nature? So, knife, ferro rod, pot. Those are the 3 things. If I really had to go out, that's all I was allowed to bring, the 3 items. Those would be the 3. So I make sure I have them on me all the time.
That's all. Yeah, and that's not an impossible thing to do. So.
No, it's not. Always be prepared.
I try to build my survival kit. You know, for years I've done different things. Like I've carried ones like this in a metal container. I used to wear them on my belt.
And what can you do with something like that?
Well, with this you could boil water in it. You could cook small amounts of food in it. You could dig with it. but you're limited to the capacity. You know, I mean, it's obviously not.
You could container for char cloth and fishing.
You could do char cloth, yeah, and all your survival items would be in here. This is patterned off of an old design that's been around quite a while that the British Special Forces use. But I found that depending on how you dress, you might not have it with you. So I started trying to build it into my everyday pattern of life. So that's my wallet.
That's awesome.
Just your basic everyday billfold. And so inside of here, I've got some water bags.
Yeah, you got water there.
So I can dip into a source of water. I've got 2 canteens.
That's like 2 liters, almost
got
like half
gussets
a gallon of water capacity.
in the bottom that actually stand upright when you fill it with water.
These are whirl packs. Somebody's gonna ask me. There it is.
Wazoo Survival Gear makes another variation of that that's a little bit lighter and more compact. If nothing else, get yourself a Ziploc bag. Stick that in there. These are water purification tablets. Enough
You
for
just put water, drop the tablets
drop it in.
Let it wait and you
So
drink it.
so now I don't have to have a fire. You know, that does away with that. I just walk up, dip it in the water, drop the tablets in, and go. You know, for years the school of thought, you've probably seen it in the military, they like carry condoms and put that in your survival kit.
Expandable, yeah.
But the problem with that is
Putting the water in it.
you've got to have a flow of water. You've got to have a rushing current to stretch that guy out. So if you're up in the mountains and you just got this little trickle of a spring, then you can take something like this and dip your water out and fill the bag with it. Whereas the condoms, if you don't have that flow, they won't stretch. So I no longer use them. And then I carry a Fresnel lens, which you could focus that little beam of light you sit on my arm there. If the sunlight's intense enough, you can get a fire going with that. But normally how we use it is she'll forget her glasses somewhere. And so to read the menu at a restaurant, I'll break my survival kit out and I'll have the chicken parmesan so we can read the menu. More often than not, this is for somebody that left their glasses behind, you know.
That's awesome.
I generally like to keep a signal mirror in here so that you
I
can.
wonder if we can do this. I can't get enough of a reflection off of maybe.
Gotta have the right light source. There you go. There it is.
Got it. Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, well, the other I use this more often for things like checking for ticks and leeches if you're by yourself and you don't have a buddy to check for those hard to reach areas.
Or if your buddy just doesn't want to check.
Or if he just refuses, then no, I'm not doing it. You know? Yeah. Even I have used it before. If you have a foreign body in one eye and your other eye's functioning, you can look in there and use that to withdraw whatever splinter or foreign body you have inside there. We need to be able to make a fire. These are just basically common drinking straws that I pack cotton balls and Vaseline into, and the ends are sealed with a cigarette lighter and then crimped.
Clamped off. Yeah.
These will actually float on water, and I've been submerged underwater with these. Come out and make a fire because they're completely waterproof. You get about a 5-minute burn time out of that. So if it's a really stormy day and
Good way to dry your material.
your tender's not going to be optimal, so this just gives you that extra edge.
I like putting pepper and stuff in these.
Yeah, I've seen
That
people
way,
do that. Yeah.
You don't have to eat your chicken or your fish with, no pepper or stuff.
That way when you're eating some cricket gumbo, you can spice it up.
Ooh, nasty.
Of course, everybody knows the ferro rod, a way to get sparks going to make a fire. These work even when they're wet. You could dip that in water and get a fire going in conjunction with this tinder right here.
Yeah, that's a full kit all right there.
Yep. And
That's
then
nice.
I carry a 65-pound test.
It's a Kevlar line, right?
This particular one is not Kevlar. I think this is spider wire. You can get it at Walmart. I mean, they sell it everywhere.
That's a fishing line.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
braided fishing line, but you could use that to suture with. You could do trip wires with it. You could do snares.
Fishing still too?
You can fish, yeah. So it's multifunctional. I like that.
Yeah, like a magic wallet.
And
It's
then
like more hats.
this is just a piece of duct tape with some tabs.
Oh, that's smart.
And
And
I-
you're gonna hook your butt.
Yeah, you keep your hooks and your sinkers in there, and if you want just one hook, you can withdraw that one hook instead of having a bunch of stuff floating around in your wallet.
Stealing this idea. I just want you to know that.
And when you do the tabs like this, see when you fold it together, it doesn't stick, so it gives you something that you can get a grip with.
Yeah.
And I've been in and out of there like 1,000 times, so and carried it every day, so you get that abrasion. It's held up really well. So there's my fishing kit, my food procurement, and then here I've got your Commando Wire Saw, and these are not all created equal.
Yeah.
You want ones that have the barrel swivels.
So they will rotate and they won't burn.
Exactly. Because if it doesn't have a barrel swivel, what'll happen is they'll kink, and then it'll break where the kinks are. And they typically come with like a keychain kind of ring on it. I take those off and I just put some parachute cord in there. And what I'll normally do is I'll stick my pinky fingers through those rings like that. And see, because of the barrel swivels, it will not kink.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I put my thumbs on the line, keep it tight, and it can work. Now on the cheaper ones that don't have the barrel swivels, they'll kink up, and what'll happen is they'll end up breaking where that kink is. So that's why I always look for the ones that have this barrel swivel right toward the end. That's my criteria. Also, the quality ones will have 8 strands of stainless wire, and that can cut through bone, it can cut through plastic, obviously wood, and some metal.
It's good for escape and evasion.
It is. Yeah, you could saw your way out of your cage, or if you had to amputate your buddy's leg, that might come in handy.
Your arm was stuck on a boulder in a canyon.
Instead of chewing it off, you could just saw it, But then you have to figure out how to do this one-handed. So yeah, this will really help you get a shelter built or process wood for firewood, or if you're making traps, a lot of the components for the traps, you need that clean edge.
Yeah.
And a saw you're a lot less likely to hurt yourself if you're tired, you know, and your hands are wet, you haven't slept. This is safer, whereas you're out there swinging a hatchet around, unless you're really, really experienced with that tool, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
So we've got water, we've got shelter, we've got fire, we've got food procurement, and we've got some signaling capabilities. All of that inside the wallet.
Yeah.
Every day. Because we put our wallet on, we grab the cell phone, and we leave the house. So many times things like bug-out bags and specialized survival kits get left behind. You never have it with you.
Yeah. Can't carry them, so.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing, like always have it with you. It's so important. So Alan's got this in his pocket. I've got this on me all the time, and he has a very similar kit as well. And there's more than in his wallet in something like this, but then this is a bigger item. There's a shelter sheet in here, there's snare wire in here.
Yeah, it's kind of
just
like
the next level up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to pack an RV around, but sometimes it's not practical. So finding that good balance and doing this in layers, where if this is more appropriate today, or that is more appropriate tomorrow, or maybe a bigger kit when you're camping, whatever it is, just make that in a layer and use what's appropriate.
Yeah, it's also really important to make a habit of it. Like Alan always has his wallet on him, so he always has I always have my water bottle with me. I don't go anywhere without it. It's in the car with me if I walk in the car. If I go for a hike, it's with me. Even if I'm walking around town, it's like my keys. It's always with me. So if you have this stuff with you all the time and you always make a habit of it, you're not leaving your stuff at home and forgetting it. So if you get stuck out and something happens, things don't happen. There's no schedule. So on Friday, if nothing's going to happen to you at noon, you better have your survival kit with you.
Instead of having a survival situation,
that.
you have a thrival situation. It's like, oh cool, we're gonna hike home, instead of, oh my gosh, I gotta hike home.
Yep.
So other items that I always carry, I have a pocket that I always keep my medical gear in. So I got a tourniquet. I've always got a tourniquet with me.
That's nice.
That's a really robust design of a tourniquet. I've got a med kit. Inside of here is another tourniquet, a pressure dressing. Got nasopharyngeal airway, hemostatic agent, pair of gloves.
IFAC almost.
Yeah, you can make them with a food saver. This one was done for law enforcement. Some buddies of mine at Project Triage, they try to get these in officers' hands. The guy that I met that really spearheads this, he was issued this kit and trained on it the day before he got shot. He took it around from an AK-47, and his partner got shot up too, saved his life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's small enough you can actually,
you can actually throw it in a cargo pocket.
Yeah, you can actually have it on you, where a lot of the IFACs are so big that people don't carry them because they're chunky.
Afghanistan's about as big as that thing.
Yeah. So unless you're wearing some type of web gear, you're not going to have it. Other items that I'm always going to have on me is in the signaling department. I'm always going to have a whistle, which we use twice in Africa.
Yeah.
We were just in Africa. There were 2 occasions when I had to signal a vehicle, let them know where my location was. One of them, we even had radio contact with them, but couldn't give them directions as to which road we took. So we had him switch his engine off, blast it on this. The other one is a good light. Always have a light for nighttime. That's essential to have this equipment. Because like a tourniquet, if you need a tourniquet, you need a tourniquet right now. You don't have time.
And you got the other one in here too. So
this to back up, in case you get a pass through or something, you've got a round that went through both legs,
Yeah.
Just gives you that extra survivability.
That is awesome.
And I do it every day. It's a habit. When I get dressed, I'm always wearing pants that have cargo pockets. This stuff goes in every day. If you're in a car wreck or you come upon a car wreck, then that might save somebody's life. So I'm always going to have that.
And it has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so if you're interested in any of these stuff, I'm going to get a whole bunch of links. I'll stick them down in the discussion box. If you want to go to courses with these guys, I'll leave links down there. If you have questions, let me know. Hopefully this is valuable to you. Thank you.
Yep. My pleasure.
Left-handed handshake.
Thanks, Tyler. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for watching TJX Survival.